I'm Susie Roberti, and let's talk tail waggers. We have Kelly with us today from the Washington Area Humane Society. She's one of the prettiest ladies I know.
Oh, thank you.
And the prettiest smile. And she has Spencer with her today, and we have lots of things to talk about that's going on at the shelter. So before I get started, I want to say thank you to my camera person. Thank you, Dave. You know, BPTV is all volunteers, and you are more than welcome to come up and do a show, learn how to do cameras, which is lots of fun to do, or just pay us a visit or go out on a shoot with us. BPTV is a wonderful little corner of the world, and I think you would enjoy it. I've enjoyed it. Come July, it'll be my 17th year doing my Let's Talk Tail Waggers, so I'm looking forward to July. So now we're going to get started with our girl. So how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
And before we do anything, I want to say thank you for being here, because I get so excited sometimes doing my shows, and at the end I forget to say thank you. So
we love being here.
Oh, and I love having you. So what's going on?
I brought Spencer today, and I thought we could talk a little bit about what's going on down at the Washington Area Humane Society, and recently what occurred with a dog that we brought in this week that we named Hamlet.
These stories.
Hamlet came into us. Hamlet is a border collie, maybe Whippet lab mix, and we estimate him to be 2 or 3 years old. He is severely emaciated, and he was covered with ticks. We've taken about 100 off of him so far.
Do you realize the agony of having something being crawling on you? Oh my!
And hosting and feeding off of you. That's what they do.
That's what I mean. Oh
yes.
My!
But despite it all, he is just a wonderful little man.
I cry.
And Hamlet's about 19 pounds. We believe he should be about 45, 50 pounds. And he is doing fantastic. He was brought in by the dog warden, found as a stray by a Good Samaritan. So when we get cases like that, we are in desperate need of fosters, ready when the time comes in emergencies. And a lot of people have stepped up to the plate to call to foster Hamlet. Hamlet's still a little too sick to go into foster.
Yeah. I would imagine, because you're going to have to check his blood and everything to make sure.
Yeah, and he makes sure he's eating, because he has to eat every couple hours because his body's not used to food
and
like that.
Liquid.
But he is eating and drinking on his own right now, and because of his condition, he can't be vaccinated yet.
Oh, no.
So he's in isolation, but he does have a wonderful foster mom and dad to go to. They've already come out to meet him.
And I bet you his personality's plus.
Oh, he's just wonderful. He loves giving kisses.
And the little tail goes, I bet.
He does. He loves to sit on your lap. He's just a joy.
This is what people that do not like animals, dogs or cats, you know, if they could only ever see a dear little soul like that, and they're just, it breaks my heart. And they're so forgiving.
They are.
They're just so forgiving.
They hold no grudges.
Nope. You're here. Oh, you're here. You're here. And that's what just absolutely breaks my heart.
Yeah, but he's doing fantastic. I'm sorry, Susie.
Oh, I know, but, you know, it just, and springtime is such a rotten time, you know, because the little kittens come in and...
It is kitten season.
All that stuff, and it just, I can just imagine seeing him. You know, what he looks like.
He,
or feels like. I shouldn't say looks like, but what his little heart feels like.
Right now, he's feeling great. The first day he came in to us, he was having difficulty walking and weak. He's only been with us several days now, in feeding him twice a day. Yesterday, he was playing ball in the back room with Sherry, our lead vet tech. And he just wants to be loved, and... I was speaking with Sherry yesterday, and behind the scenes of shelter life, it's a lot more than adopting out fuzzy kittens and dogs. That's
Right.
a really great part of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that we see and that we have to do and keep the finances coming in to keep the
Yeah.
shelter open.
Yeah.
Um,
Now they just had to lay off some people, right?
we did because the
Because-
economy.
Of the economy, and this is very important. If anyone out there hears us, that if you could even send money down for food, and if you do, once again, because I might forget at the end of the show, blankets, sheets, towels, anything that you wouldn't send to the homeless but is nice enough, you know, and send it to the Washington Humane Society. Because they really are. This is a very hard time, you know, and it's usually the shelters that really get it really bad when the economy's bad, you know.
We do, and what we try to help people understand is adoptions are a large part of the shelter with the animals that we get in, but we also provide a lot of services to the community. We have a food bank every month in which we provide free food to the citizens of Washington County that would otherwise, if we didn't give them food, couldn't keep their pets.
Oh.
And our humane officer we have that goes and investigates probably anywhere from 80 to 100 cases a month.
Oh my.
He's actually going out right now as we speak on a case. And
Yeah, that's a doozy.
yeah, and we have also, he also goes into the schools and provides humane education classes to kids, like how to bite prevention and how to be kind to animals and how to take care of your animal and stuff like that.
I was wondering this summer if I could talk with you about volunteering for next year, like to go into the schools and talk to the little ones, you know, and I could work up something through the summer.
That would be great.
You know, and then we could pick schools and I could go in with them because with grooming, people don't think grooming is something, but it truly is. And being with the animals all my life, I've really thought, and I get with the little ones really well.
Fantastic.
And I thought, well, over the summer I could make up this little program, and then we'll find out some schools, and then in the fall, then you know, I could start visiting.
Oh, that would be great. Grooming is a huge importance because if you don't groom a dog like Spencer, and he gets mats, and the mats pull on the skin, and they open the skin up,
Yep.
and it becomes infected in the ears.
I could tell you stories, sweetie. I've done it for 40
Yeah.
years, and it is like, you know, it's really sad. But I'd like to do that, keeping them clean and things. But I'd also like to do, you know, about
Right.
training and biting, and I have some little ideas that I thought would be nice for the little ones. You know, it would make it easier for them to remember.
Oh, that would be great.
But we're getting off the subject.
We've actually seized dogs due to lack of grooming
Oh, I believe
from
it.
our humane officer.
Oh, I believe it. It's absolutely
yes, horrendous.
It's horrendous. Over my years and years, I had my own shop, and over my years and years and years of grooming, I saw some real horrible, awful things. And when you groom them and you know what you're doing, and you can get under those mats and lift them and free them, you know, so that they can actually turn their head to the right and turn their head to the left. Because when they're matted so deeply, they can't turn their head. It's just they're contained in this hard shell, and it just the look that they get, and they stand real still, you know, like as soon as they realize what you're going to do, you know, because you'd think the clippers would frighten them, but they know by your loving voice and your loving touch. But as soon as they realize, and they go.
They're wonderful. They know when you want to help.
They do. You just have to, you know, be loving and have a little bit of patience. Spence, he's a good. How did you get him?
Spencer came into the shelter last year with 2 other dogs that looked just like him. A Good Samaritan found them running. Spencer, we estimate last year, was 12, 13 years old. So he's about 13, 14 now. I took him home as a foster, I am what we call a foster failure because I did adopt him. There's no way I was giving him back to somebody else. But when Spencer came into us, all three of them had no hair, severe skin infections.
Yeah.
One of them, unfortunately, didn't make it. Ginger, which was younger, we believe may have been his daughter, but we're not sure, was adopted. And Spencer had no hair. He had open sores all over him because of the skin infection. He had difficulty.
And you know, that was the matting, and then the disease gets underneath the matting, and then it stops the hair from growing, and the hair falls off, and here we go. Oh my! We were going to talk about foster.
Yes,
that's what we were going to do.
And Spencer's a perfect example of fosters. You don't have to be a foster failure, although sometimes a lot of people are, because it's hard to give them up. But we have a lot of fosters that rotate, and they bring animals in emergencies, and that way they're able to help more cats and dogs become medically sound and fit or socialize so they can come back to the shelter and get loving homes and help that way.
So it's very important that you volunteer for that. That's one of the really necessary things because it's now my children are gone, and you know I have to have something to be putzing over and taken care of. And being a foster is terrific because you just have, oh my Lord, and you have so much to do, and feel needed and loved, and it's a very wonderful thing to do.
Spencer was a ready-made dog when he came to us.
God.
He has no teeth left, so he has not a one, but he can tear up a rawhide like nothing.
Oh, sure.
Because he does a good job on it. And he was housebroken when he came to me and never had an accident. And he's just the happiest dog.
Oh, God.
He's my hero.
Just likes to sit on your lap. And
actually, he's very active, but when he's with me, he's just content to hang out with me. But he runs and plays with my other dogs and has a good time. And he barks when he wants something. Usually it's up in bed when he wants to take his nap in the afternoon.
Yeah. Now when it's getting busy, are you going to need volunteers?
Volunteers and fosters, we're going to need them to, we actually have a foster right now, a dog that is in need of foster. He just came in from a seizure from Logan, our humane officer, Officer Wade.
Yeah.
There are two puppies. Well, they're adults now, about 8-9 months old, and they have been running at large. At a home, though. They just never tied them up or anything. Yeah. And they're very scared. The one is very scared, and we can't put them out for adoption because when you put a leash on him and a collar, he just falls to the ground. He has no idea what a leash is. He doesn't know how to play. So we are looking for a special home right now, foster, to take him home and teach him how to be a dog, pretty much. So he can come back and get a good home. And he's a lab mix.
Wow. It's amazing. It's just amazing. How's the kittens doing?
They're doing very well. They're coming in pretty young. Usually too young to be adopted out yet. They're coming in at 5 and 6 weeks, but we do have kittens right now up for adoption.
That's the sad story in the spring. That's another one that breaks my heart.
It is. We've actually, though, which is nice, has seen a little bit of decrease in kittens this year at our facility. And I don't know if this is true or not, Susie, but I like to think so. I like to attribute it to our feral cat program.
Well, God love your heart. You have to take some credit for something. Right.
But we have a feral cat program that we rent out the cage to you, and you can bring a feral cat in. It has to be feral, and for $30, you can get the cat spayed, neutered, and vaccinated.
And then you take it.
And then you re-release it. That way, we're not having more kittens.
Up on Industrial Boulevard at Frank Roberti's Auto Body, he feeds the feral cats up there in the wintertime. You know, they all, for some reason, they go away in summer, they come back in the winter to feed. And he's been feeding this one, he calls her Stinky. And she's as sweet as can be, but he calls her Stinky.
Okay.
And she'll come up so far, you know, and that'll be it. So when springtime came, 2 other females came, and then the dad, some big daddy, showed up, and I said, "Oh, here we go. You know, we're going to have babies." And we were looking at her, and there was a gentleman pulled in at his shop, and Frank says, he said, "Is that your cat?" And Frank said, "No, that's one of the ferals that I feed." And he said, "You know, she was fixed." And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and one of the ears was shorter. We never noticed than the other. And we did that for years up there. We caught them, and then we took them down to Animal Friends.
Yeah.
And they would clean them, you know, put them to sleep. One person would clean them, cut their toenails, check their, you know, they had a line of people that just zoom, and they'd come back around, give them their shots, put them in a cage, and then we'd take them back up and release them. And there she is. She's still there, and that has to be about 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and but we just forgot, and we just didn't really look. And when he said, "You know, one of her ears is shorter than the other," and he said, "I betcha." Frank and I looked at each other, and we said, "Oh my!" She's been up there all those years, and no babies.
Good. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, she's surviving on her own. Yeah, we tip the ears. They just take.
Yeah.
And it's not cruel.
No.
We just take, while they're under anesthetic, you just tip a little of their ear off. That way, if they're ever caught again in a catch and release program for ferals, they know not to open the cat up and do surgery because the cat has already been spayed or neutered.
Yeah, and that is a wonderful thing to do. It really is. We did that until we got everybody under control up there, you know, and it just seemed like then all of a sudden we didn't have any, you know, cats coming up to the shop or that. And we thought, oh boy, you know, and now it just started 2 years ago that one showed up, and because he put food out for Stinky. And then another one showed up. So now we have to feed them in, let Stinky eat first. And then she goes, we tell her, go away, and then another one sneaks up and we'll eat, you know. What you doing, Spence? But see, there's so many wonderful things that people can do.
And don't forget, we still have our U.S. Pets for Vets program.
Oh, I was going to talk about that at the end.
To donate to?
Yeah. That's that Susie Smith. There's no words for her. She just, she will always be in my heart. I love her dearly. The hours, like you do, the hours that lady put into that, and she was just a volunteer and created that and went on, you know.
And we have a lot of people that take advantage of that. A lot
and
of
that's
veterans.
for anybody that was in the service and would like to have a pet and can't afford it. Then they can come down to the shelter, and they can pick their dog or their cat, and they get them for free.
That is correct.
And they're spaded, and everything is done.
Microchipped, current on their vaccines.
Microchipped, yeah. Everything is done, and it's a gift from the Washington Area Humane Society to anyone that's been in the service. So, and I think that's nice, and one lonely soul gets another lonely soul.
Yes.
And it's
always a wonderful, it's a happy ending.
It's always a happy ending. Except we got that little guy down there now. I hope he gets a wonderful, wonderful home. But I imagine you'll have him for a few months, though.
He'll be in foster care for several months until he gets his weight up. If I had my choice, I would take him home.
Yeah.
He is just the sweetest dog, but I get to have too many.
What are you up to now?
I can't tell you that. A lot. Since I've been on your show last, I have 4 more. And they're all special needs.
Yeah.
I kind of tend to the special needs ones.
Yeah.
But my latest one is a 16-year-old poodle thrown out of a window. She's deaf, partially blind. She has breast cancer. But you know what, Susie?
She knows you're there.
She wakes up every morning prancing like a bunny, loving life, enjoying every minute that she has.
And she lets you know.
Yes. And she's just in that, all the things that we see at the shelter. I was sitting with Sherry yesterday and talking about, you know, how we need more fosters and volunteers to come in and help out, especially in the summertime, because we get lots of dogs like Hamlet that are emaciated or dehydrated.
Yeah.
And, you know, for everything that you do, I was sitting on the floor and Hamlet crawled into my lap, skin and bones, and just kissing you, and makes everything worthwhile.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Animals just give and give and give. And I've said a sad story that, like, with my when I was a little girl and we had our Cocker Spaniel Goldie, and when she passed away, she was 19, and she hung on forever, and I was maybe 7 or 8, and it was my dad's dog, and he just adored her. And when she passed away, and she was gone. I mean, she was gone. And I would look for her, and my mom would say, no, she's in heaven and she's not with us anymore. And I would look, and it was maybe a year and a half or so later, my grandfather, who was one of my favorite people, passed away.
Okay.
And when they buried him, and I was driving home, and I was at 9, and I knew he wasn't coming back, because Goldie taught me he wasn't going to come back.
Aww.
So, see, even to their end of their life, they teach you stuff.
They do.
Oh, I get weepy. I just love them so, and it just, breaks your heart. And I know there's lots of people out there that come this summer now that even if you have a young child, maybe 10, 11, or 13, and you can go down maybe and walk the dogs. Take them out of the cages and take them for a walk, and you will just be joyous when you do that.
We have not a lot, but we have people coming in to be fosters with younger children that don't want to take the responsibility on of a dog. We have lots of cats that need fostered.
Kitties.
That are fostering cats with younger children, 12, 13, 14, for the responsibility.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Yes.
We just had a cat recently that went home to a foster, and he came in, he was found a little less than a year, and he had some type of traumatic injury to his front left leg, and he had permanent nerve damage, and the nerve damage was actually impeding him from walking correctly because he would drag the leg. So we had to amputate the leg, and they recover so quickly.
Yeah, they do.
And
I promise they do.
He went home to the foster, and, well, of course, they said, we're not keeping the cat, we're just fostering because we want to foster lots more kitties. I said, okay, but this is really a special kitty, and he's just going to crawl into your heart. And they called us about 2 weeks later and said, we really want to adopt him now because we can't give him back.
They do. They do. And it's amazing if you believe in a higher power, the Lord. Somehow, some way, He finds them, and when you need them, you know what I mean. It's kind of like instead of going and worrying about getting a puppy or something, go down and visit and see. There just might be a little guy down there that and he's already adult. And like he was already, you find out that he was potty trained and stuff, and they just fit right into your life. They're ready to go.
They're perfect. I love puppies.
I do too.
Puppies are a lot of work.
Yes.
Puppies chew, puppies potty, puppies keep you up at night, and if you have the time for that, that's fantastic. Puppies are great. But we have so many adult dogs right now that are already housebroken, that are out of the chewing stage. You know how big they're going to get.
No surprise for that.
Yeah, we have one right now, Finn. He's a Cocker Spaniel mix. He's about 10 years old. He is the sweetest dog in the world. All he wants to do is take long strolls and a long nap afterwards. So,
see this? Aww.
And he's wonderful.
And he says, I'll just fit in anywhere.
He would. Loves other dogs, loves cats, loves people.
Yeah, well, I think they're nice too if you have a mom or a dad that's at home now, and they can't go anywhere, and you're thinking about getting them something, and they'd like to have something, but a puppy, forget, So if you could go get an oldie but goodie and pair those two up together, and they can sit and watch TV, and talk to each other and be company.
It would be fantastic. He's 13. now, 13, 14, and he's just as active as a 2-year-old.
It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
So, and if you want to donate to the shelter and also have fun doing it, we have a bowling event coming up.
Oh.
On the 19th of May.
Uh-huh.
At Legacy Lanes in Baldwin.
In Baldwin.
Pretty local. You can either sign up for on our website through PayPal or call the shelter and we can sign you up over the phone. You get 2 hours of bowling with the lane and the shoe rental, unlimited soda. We have chicken tenders, pizza. We have lots of great auction items there.
What a nice idea.
Autographed footballs, sports memorabilia.
Uh-oh.
Chance to win 4 free pirate tickets, things like that. So it's an afternoon of family fun. It's $30 a person, which is less than taking your family to the movies after you pay for popcorn and soda and everything.
Yeah, and that would be a really wonderful thing. That
and
would be
benefits the shelter.
Who came up with that? That's a really wonderful idea.
Actually, a member of our board of directors initiated it.
That is really original. Yeah, I haven't heard about it. Sincerely, in all the years I've been doing this, I've never heard about going bowling. Well, guess what?
I know we're done already.
Come out of there. It's time for us to go. I want to thank you so much, though. I love you so very much for all the things you do down there, and no one really knows about that little world unless you go down there. And you will just magically all of a sudden go, oh my, and see all the things that goes on down there. With volunteers and people that get paid, the veterinarians come down and help.
They volunteer their time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful little corner of the world. It truly is. So I have to say goodbye, and I want to say I love you. Don't forget about the Washington Area Humane Society. Send them sheets, towels, anything that you could have, money. If you're going to send food, if you could send money and mark it for food, and I promise you it will go for food. Summer's coming pretty soon, and I'm excited that the nice warm weather's coming, and
yes,
we can be outside. So, like always, thank you. Thank you from the Tail Waggers.
My name is Acorn. Hi, my name is Alex Barker, the Amazing! I'm Jacob Wagner.
Hi, I'm Austin.
This is Scout 350, and you're watching BPTV. Isn't that awesome?
Once you figure out how to speak your kids' language, well, you don't really have to say much at all. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.